Hi guys, welcome to this new series called Cognitive Autopsy, where we're going to take a look at judgment calls that are shown either in sports, news articles, whatever I could find or comes into my awareness that I think we could do a breakdown of the judgment failure, the cognition failure, because judgment is invisible. It's only known by execution. And it takes time sometimes to see the results, first, second, and third order results. Today, we're going to take a look at a video that is a news article. By Fox 4 News. So here's a news article from Fox 4 Local, and this is the young lady that's very courageous. She lives in Trinidad County, I think it is, and she posted this particular Facebook article, and then she was arrested and brought to jail and stayed overnight. Now she's suing Trinidad County. And this is her post. Now, she's shocked, of course, as a lot of people are. How could I be arrested for a simple Facebook post? It's simply First Amendment right to state an opinion, right? No. First Amendment has guardrails. Everything in life has guardrails. In context. In context determines how whether it's sound judgment or not sound judgment. Judgment has multiple dimensions to it that either make it sound or faulty. So in this cognition autopsy, we're going to take a look at this particular story. This young lady posted this. We're going to read it, and then we're going to try to identify what could have caused this young lady to be arrested. Now, before we get started, I'm not a lawyer. This is not a device in any way, medical, legal, any kind of a device that requires a license, a permit, or permission by the king. It's none of those things. This is simply an opinion and an analysis, an exploration of the thought pattern that could have taken place in this scenario. So let's start reading. We have received reports that some citizens have been hospitalized due to bacteria in the water. It's a big deal. This is a serious public health concern that deserves immediate attention. I could see why she would say that. If your water looks discolored, contains sediment, has a strong odor, or you have experienced related health issues, please send us a message. We are gathering information and reporting findings to the state. We are aware that not all areas of Trinidad are experiencing these issues. However, if your water is affected, your information could help identify patterns and ensure the problem is addressed properly. And then she's asking those that are making the report to include certain artifacts in that particular report. Okay, so I'm going to pause here for a moment. Is anything wrong with this? Does this violate First Amendment? Think about it. On its face, it doesn't. And just a disclaimer, this is not legal advice. Let's break down the structure of each of the sentences. We have received reports that some citizens have been hospitalized due to bacteria in the water. That's profound. That's scary, right? If you watch the video from Fox 4, it shows her showing the journalist the water is brown coming out of the bathtub, out of the faucet, rather. That's a big deal. She's a concerned citizen that lives there. It makes sense to want to make this post. The first sentence on its own, we have received reports. If someone shares information with her or with you, that's information that's true to you. You've received it firsthand, right? Nothing wrong with that sentence. It doesn't make a claim or harm anyone by that first sentence. That is acceptable free speech. Now, here's where it gets iffy. Again, not legal advice. This is a serious public health concern that deserves immediate attention. That's the kicker right there, in my opinion. But let's explore it further and ask some questions. This is a serious public health concern that deserves immediate attention. Take that sentence on its own without preceding sentences or any sentences that come after it explaining. Is she a qualified public health person to make that determination that this is a serious public health concern? You may say, well, we don't know the reports she got. It doesn't matter. You're not qualified to speak on what something is or isn't a serious public health concern. Why? You're calling out government. You're calling out big daddy government. You can't do that easily. you shouldn't do that, period. Because in essence, you've put a stain upon them. Yes, you brought awareness to the situation, but there's a way to bring awareness to something without necessarily putting a stain or a claim upon someone. So by you saying this is a serious public health concern that deserves immediate attention, again, this is a loaded sentence. You are stating a conclusion, a fact that says it's a serious public health. You've already made a determination. Public health is involved and it's serious. That's a big deal. And I could see why the government would arrest her for that, because if you look at the report, they called it false. Is it false? It is, until it's proven, right? Until it's proven that it's not. So, because everything is innocent until proven guilty. But what she's done is, this is a serious public health concern. That's a judgment call. And you have to be qualified to make a judgment call. This is not to talk about her. Again, she's courageous for even doing this. But this is the small part where you can either push your agenda further or actually hurt yourself by getting yourself removed from the conversation altogether. So you want to think about these things. Now, later on in the news article, the journalist shows the brown water coming out of the faucet in her home and some homes where it's completely brown. It's disgusting. And then he shows in the state building, the water is clear. As she mentioned, this is not happening everywhere in a Trinidad location. She should be asking questions. How do you do this better next time? You say, we have received reports that some citizens have been hospitalized due to bacteria in the water. This is a concerning matter to us citizens. I would be happy and willing to work with the state in order to review the findings that we have received so far. And we would appreciate the concerns reviewed by qualified state representatives, right? So you're given the power where it belongs. And I know this is kind of playing around and this is mincing words and all of that, but unfortunately in power asymmetry world, that's the way it works. You got to learn how to play the game. Don't hate the players. Don't hate the game. Don't hate the players, hate the game, right? So you want to ask questions. We're not sure to what degree these reports may result in a public health concern. It would be quite appreciated for the public health system to provide us with some feedback and some support. Always ask questions. Always ask questions. The rest of it is fine. So now she's been humiliated. She was in jail. Is she going to become a millionaire because she's suing them now? I don't know. I don't think so. My prediction is she's not going to make money from it. The charges will be dropped, but she won't be able to sue them free and clear because her hands are dirty, right? She said this is a serious public health. She's made a stain upon the government. Her hands are dirty. So this is just our first cognitive autopsy. The idea is to look at things. If there's something you want me to break down as to the thinking process and how to improve or correct the cognitive chain, if you will, send it over to me, put it in the comments below. If you disagree with my assessment, put your comments below. I would love to hear them. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next cognitive breakdown. Thank you.